Hi guys, welcome to Labor Laws lecture series, and we were discussing about Unit 1 Trade Union Act 1926. This is the 8th video in the series, and this one is the last video with respect to Trade Union Act of 1926. So far we discussed about historical aspects of a trade union, and then the Trade Union Act in detail, like definitions and key terms, funds, amalgamation, recognition, registration, etc. And now we are in the last option, like last portion of a syllabus, which is collective bargaining. In this video, we discuss about collective bargaining in detail, what is meaning, methods, and suggestions. Okay, so collective bargaining. So collective bargaining means a team of people, right? There by multiple workers like this. They come together and then they bargain with employer. They negotiate with employer for wages, better working condition, etc. So a pool of people coming together as a one, as a collective team in the form of trade union, and then negotiate with employer. So that is the collective bargaining method or a collective bargaining process. So here is a definition. Collective bargaining is a process of negotiation between employers and the representatives of a unit of employees aimed at reaching agreement that regulates working condition. This is what we discussed. It is an negotiation process between representative of employees. Representative of employees is nothing but trade union, and then with the employer. Okay. During the collective bargaining process, workers are represented through a trade union. The process of collective bargain involves negotiating and discussion between the management and trade union. So the entire collective bargaining happens between these two parties. One is trade union, the another one is employer, right? This is what is collective bargaining. Here is a definition of collective bargaining, which is given in the encyclopedia of social sciences. Collective bargaining is a process of discussion and negotiation between two parties, one or both of whom is a group of a person acting in contest. More specifically, it is a procedure by which an employer or employers and a group of employees agree upon the condition of a work. So it is a employer or group of employer. It is like a industry which agrees upon the condition of a work. Okay, condition of a work which is demanded by employee. Okay, so in the form of trade union. Okay, the employees will demand through trade union. Uh, so then employer or employers group will accept it. This is what this collective bargaining is. So trade union is a tool or a technique used by collective bargaining. It is a tool. It is a tool of collective bargaining. The technique of collective bargaining. Okay, trade union is a tool or a technique of collective bargaining. What are the objectives of collective bargaining? Why we need collective bargaining? So there are many issues, critical issues. So to resolve those issues, we need collective bargaining, protect the interest of the workers, carry out a negotiations, arrive at an amicable agreement, and then agreement on a wages and other working conditions of employment, and coexistence, like peaceful coexistence between employer and employee for mutual benefits to maintain a proper employee and employer relationship. Okay, why do we need collective bargaining? To resolve critical issues, to protect the interest of the workers, to negotiate, to amicably agreement between many process agreement of many issues, to arrive on a wage and to arrive on a wage and to arrive on agreement on wages and conditions of employment, to have a peaceful coexistence of employer and employee. So these all are the objectives of collective bargaining. Okay, what is the process of collective bargaining? So there will be a trade union, which is a representation of all the members. Then the trade union prepares it, what is the subject matter and other things. Then internally they discuss it, and then they propose a requirement. See, for example, if they want a 25% hike in salary, okay. So they start with a salary hike discussion here, or a wage hike discussion, Initially, one person may say 50%, another person may 30%, and other things. Finally, they agree, internal after discussion, they agree that they want 25% hike in us wages. Then they push it to a management for 25% hike. Then the process of bargaining starts, where management and trade unions sit together, come to a conclusion or come to a settlement, right? Where management and trade union come to sit together and come to a settlement, the 15% will be the wages. Okay, this is a final settlement, 15% hike in the wages. So this is how the process of collective bargaining works. If every individual employee goes and asks for a salary hike, the management may not be able to listen it or may not respond positively. But when they go collectively with a proper approach with a trade union, they prepare it, they have internal discussion, come to a common conclusion, and then trade union represents in front of management on behalf of all the employees the salary hike proposal, and then there will be a bargaining process and then the final settlement. So from 50% hike what they have expected here, by the time this process completes, it comes to 15% or something. Okay, this is how the process of collective bargaining works. So what is the importance of collective bargaining to employees, right? With respect to employees, it increases their strength because they are collective, they are not individual. So their bargaining capacity increases. And it restricts management's freedom for arbitrary action. Means management sometimes they may give hikes to specific group of people, reject some proposals of others, etc. Right? It reduces the freedom of management on arbitrary action, any action of their will, that will reduces it, and it will be almost like a streamlined approach for salary and work condition related issues, and management will not be able to take any unilateral decisions because of the trade union and because of the collective bargaining. It is very difficult for management to take any unilateral actions. And the effective collective bargaining machinery, if people start using collective bargaining as a machinery, it will strengthen the trade union movement. Otherwise, if there is no collective bargaining, if everybody goes on individual path, then the trade union movement will take a U-turn. It comes back to where we were earlier in 17th century. And on the other side, right, it is also becomes easier for management to resolve the issues. It is not necessary for always manager. It is very difficult to go and talk to hundreds of people, individual workers. So with the trade union, it is easy for management to resolve issue at discussing with a one particular association, that is a trade union. And then it provides a sense of job security to employees. So management will not be able to take any arbitrary decision on a employment of an worker. So in that way, it promotes a job security. And once the collective bargaining starts, right, it reduces the industrial disputes. It helps settling and preventing industry disputes. Okay, this is the importance to employees. And then what are the advantages of collective bargaining? It avoids unnecessary legal proceedings. So trade union plays a mediator role and try to resolve many of the issues. And it is a democracy, workers democracy, and workers also, it helps workers to participate in the management, and it eliminates unnecessary expenditure and avoids bitterness among the involved parties. Because trade union or collective bargaining, right, it always try to come up with an amicable solution or a settlement. In that way, it reduces bitterness among involved parties. What are the disadvantages? Because of this collective bargaining, two tools which are excessively used by both the parties is workers do a strike and management do a lockout of a business. Right, management closes the business because of a unfulfillable demand from workers, or workers may go for a strike as management is not fulfilling. So because of this, there will be a production loss. Right, this is one of the major disadvantage of collective bargaining, the production loss. The second one is the cost of employment, cost of employees will increase. So that also resulted in the high cost for producing the goods. Okay, Because of that, consumer prices will also increase. They suffer a lot. Okay, this is the major disadvantage of collective bargaining. Okay, let's look into a collective bargaining in India. Uh, Collective bargaining is widely recognized in India, even in Supreme Court. Even Supreme Court held in the case of Karol Leather Kamachari Sangathan Liberty Footwear Company case. Collective bargaining is a technique by which dispute as to condition of employment is resolved amicably by agreement rather than coercion. So this is a view of a Supreme Court with respect to collective bargaining in India, and according to many courts, they believe that Industrial Dispute Act 1947 seeks to achieve social justice on the basis of collective bargaining. So the basic purpose of Industrial Dispute Act is to enable social justice by way of collective bargaining. That is what many court believes in India, and even in Bharat Iron Works Bhagubai Balubai Patel case also, it was held that collective bargaining being the order of the day in the democratic and social welfare state, legitimate trade union activities which must shun all kinds of physical threats, coercion or violences must march with the spirit of tolerance, understanding and grace in dealing on the part of the employer. Okay, so in this particular case also court held that collective bargaining is a must in the period of democratic and social welfare state, right? We are in the democratic period and then it is a social welfare state, so it is necessary to have a trade union. Trade union should try to reduce, trade unions are reducing the kinds of physical threats, coercion, violence, etc., and they also should understand and work on a tolerance and understand and grace in dealing with the employers of any organization. Okay, they have to, so the collective bargaining should bring in tolerance, mutual respect and mutual understanding, and all it should reduce the physical threats, coercion and violences. Okay, but the trade union movement in India started around 100 years back. It has reached to it has grown in a multiple folds for a last 100 years. But there are a couple of challenges which trade union movement is being faced in India. Uh, See, we will see here few steps which are causing that problem. Trade Union Act of 1926 permits outsider to be the office bearers of a union. See, when a trade union is formed, we need some office members for it, office bearers for it, right? Office bearers like president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, etc. See, these office bearers can be hired out from outside. The Trade Union Act of 1926 permits that person can be hired from outside for these positions. When the outside persons come into a trade union, they will not be knowing the problem of a business or a problem of a job, what people are playing here, and problem of the employer also. And even sometimes the employer may feel uncomfortable talking in front of a third party. Okay, so that's why the critics says that the presence of outsider is one of the important reason for the failure of collective bargaining and trade union in India. The basic reason why collective bargaining and trade union are failing in India is the presence of the outsider. If we see right, our trade unions, most of the trade unions are affiliated to one or the other political party. So that's why there will always be a political interference in trade union discussions. That's why management is also not happy with this, and the employees also not getting required benefit because of the third party. If we see the trade unions, right, here federations here, INTAC, it is a labor wing of a Congress party. Hind Mazdoor Sabha, which is a labor wing of Socialist Party. Bharatiya Mazdoor Sangh, which is a labor wing of a BJP, and then CITU is a labor wing of CPIM. So in such circumstances, the management has to look into how to, the trade union should try to reduce the involvement of external parties to get a better negotiation with vendor from a masters or from an employer. So here are some suggestions. How do we reduce the involvement of third parties and then make a trade union movement more stronger in India? Uh, See, first one is recognition of a trade union should be sorted out. There are a lot of issues with respect to a recognition of trade union. It should be sorted out. Though as of now, the union having more members should be recognized. This is being followed, but it should be followed strictly. The state should also enact suitable legislations for providing a compulsory recognition of a trade union. Okay, there should be a enactment from a state side also, where state should enact a legislation which says that recognition of a trade union is compulsory, and section 22 of the trade union should be amended, because of the section 22 the outsiders can be a members or office bearers of the trade union. So this is what causing a problem, right? So section 22 should be amended, uh, and then the political funds of a trade union has to be done away with. So there should not be any political involvement or any kind of political fund should be formed by trade union. Trade union should be basically only focusing on employer and employee relationships rather than getting into any political motives. And in case of the other responsibilities on a state side, state has to play a progressive role in removing the pitfalls which stand in the way of a mutual, amicable and voluntary settlement of a labor disputes. So this is what a few suggestions with respect to improving a trade union movement and a collective bargaining movement in India. That's it from a trade union and collective bargaining perspective. With this, we are closing the entire syllabus of a Unit 1 of a Trade Union Act 1926 of a KSLU LLB course. If you have any questions about this unit, you can question in a comment box below, and please go through all the 8 units sequentially. That gives you a clear picture about Trade Union Act, collective bargaining, trade union recognition, registration, etc. Thank you very much for listening to me, and in the next video we'll come up with the next unit in detail. Thank you very much for your cooperation.